Thank you very much, Udi, for your presentation. Verint is one of the well-known Israeli companies that we are very proud, and I think they are one of the main companies who made such a big difference when they changed their activities not only to intelligence but also to cyber. So I think what we should learn from Udi, Professor Ben Israeli is not here, he always told me, every time somebody is speaking, give him a label or a header about what he spoke. So we heard about the need for network backbone solutions, achieve effective national cyber defense. The next speaker is Mr. Yochai Corem. Mr. Yochai Corem is the VP Marketing, Products, Intelligence and Cyber Solutions from Elbit Systems, one of the very big Israeli companies. I'll say the same about IAI later because I still have friends in both of the companies. Mr. Yochai Corem is the Vice President for Marketing and Products in Elbit Cybersecurity and Intelligence Division, leading the marketing product and pre-sale activities related to cyber defense as well as cyber collection and intelligence solutions. Yochai combines his cyber intelligence experience and technical training with big picture perspective to understand the cyber market, its customers, and competitive landscape when defining the roadmaps for Elbit cyber offering. Prior to his current role, Yochai was the VP Product and Services at 3iMind, where he was responsible for the strategy, marketing, and intelligence services for the company proprietary solutions to deep web, harvesting, and analysis. Yochai is going to speak today with us about cyber defense industry view, and I invite Yochai to the podium. Thank you.
So hello everybody. Thank you. How do you start the presentation? So until it starts, thank you, Rami, for the introduction. I'll try to do it without the visual aids. I wanted to start my presentation, and if someone in the technical team can help me, by comparing cyber with a historical notion which happened more than 150 years ago, which is the gold rush period in the World Wide West. There we had gold miners go find new gold, build new cities and towns, new businesses are established, and business-to-business activity started. However, it was not such a safe era for the businesses in the Old Wide West because can someone help with that presentation? Cyber attack, right? Okay. Never mind. I know it by heart anyway. So they had some problems because some people, like Jimmy Ray and other bandits, decided that instead of earning money by working, they can just trade the coach wagons and the trains, picking the gold and moving it from one place to another. And they did a lot of income that way. Yeah. Yeah? I have it on my computer if it's helpful. Anyway, we'll continue like that. I think it's better fun. Wells and Fargo in 1880 sent a report that the businesses had so much because of these bandits that they have decided to form an army or force actually to protect the trains and the wagons that transport the gold and the money. So they spent a lot of budget of building this, let's say, infrastructure or security infrastructure to protect the communication lines between the different cities. Only years later, some governors have decided that it is the state's responsibility to include a safe mechanism to protect the businesses by forming state military forces and going after the bandits. So it is the state responsibility to protect the businesses, the communication lines, from outside forces trying to attack and to cause problems to those businesses. Now, I had some beautiful slides, believe me. I tried to compare between this arena of 130 years ago, where it took time for governments to understand that it is their responsibility to protect the business and the communication lines, to what we are suffering today, I would say, in the cyber arena, where we have a situation where government only start to understand that it's not enough that, different organizations protect themselves from different cyber attacks by implying more and more appliances and more tools like we've seen here today. It's the government, should be a priority to the government, and we start seeing that here in Israel now, and also some other places around the world, to include tools and to defend the citizens and the businesses within the country. So it's a national problem today. We see it, it's not, and we call it in Elbit the fifth dimension of protection. So it's not only land and sea and naval and space, which is the fourth dimension, also the fifth dimension of protection, which means that government and nations should plan the right tools and mechanism as if it was just the protect of the air or the land from outside attacks. It's not only military forces, the border between civilians, organizations and military organizations are, it's very hard to find them. I just heard that in last year in 2013 in the US there are hundreds of different attacks on health institutes where hundreds of thousands of personal information of patients in health institutes were stolen, were attacked by cyber attacks. It's maybe hard in the beginning to imagine why, but actually it is because you can use it for drug-related illegal activities. Imagine that you have the prescription for a very expensive drug or for legal marijuana, etc. What you can do with it, of course, also the fake identities. So this is only one segment, the health segment, that is also attacked all the time. Of course, banks, utilities, energy, transportation, communication, etc. What can form all of those together? It's a hard question. I'll try to answer it in a few minutes. I want also to use the quote, which you cannot see, from the current NSA director, who said, the problem is not in the technology, because we have so much technology, it is in the organization. Another quote from him is, commanders must own the cybersecurity space and the cyber defense. So in my point of view, owning, meaning taking corrective actions and the correct actions when something happens, and managing the future for cyber protection in your organization requires knowledge. I think that today we are lacking the knowledge, and it's very hard because cyber, and I see the people around here, is a technical domain. To transform it from technical domain into something that a person which is not technical, which is a manager, maybe 50, 60 years old, in most cases can feel and make decisions, is a hard problem. So education, I believe, should be a fundamental layer in this solution, national cyber solution, starting from schools, of course, and I think some representative over here, but also going to the managerial layer. Here, us in Elbit, we've put a lot of emphasis, not only on education, but also on training. We have a very, I would say, good solution, customers say so, for hands-on training on cyber attacks, so you can really experience what it means to be under cyber attack, what does it do to your organization, what does a security expert has to do, and what does an analyst has to do, and a manager needs to do in such a case. And I can tell you, I saw the most brilliant cyber defenders go to our system and start sweating when they have the actual attacks going on and they need to protect from it. Another point is the fact that it's very hard today to centralize, and Udi mentioned some of the challenges, to centralize or to manage a nationwide defense because we are lacking standards and common language between organizations. So let's say I would like a health institute which is being attacked to report about it to one of the banks in the financial sector. Do they have today the same language? Do they speak the same language? I mean, digitally. Do they know to share this information? Do one another know to interpret that? And I believe that the industry should adopt common practices and standards related to cyber communication and sharing cyber information, and the government should enforce that by using regulation and requesting those different organizations to use the same standards to generate a common discussion infrastructure. One more point. I would like to differentiate between the national level cyber defense, where, in contrary to what Udi said, I believe that especially in large or medium-sized countries, it's very hard to concentrate all the traffic in one place. For example, some of the companies do not want information to be shared with others. And I would like to differentiate between a national level to a more sector level solution. In the sector level solution, where usually you have operational responsibility for the computers, you're able to actually check everything's going on within the traffic. And believe me, we have solutions both through SCADA-based or national critical infrastructure-based network, and of course also IT networks. So we have solutions for that. This requires one type of protection. A different type is in the national level, where we believe it's very hard for people to tell one another, hey, I've been attacked. You need a lot of trust for a bank CEO to tell the other, I've been attacked. I don't actually know what exactly is the magnitude of the attack, right? But you should be aware now because you also possibly been attacked. This is something which requires a lot of trust. Of course, also a hospital can be a train company, etc., etc. So from the national level, and I think this is very hard challenge of especially when the regulation is moving a little slower than the hackers, you need to create an infrastructure of very, I would say, open communication. Some of it might need to be anonymous between the different users, between the different elements in the country, both civilians, government, etc. Oh, excellent. So here it is. Wow. From the beginning. I was getting to the end, but now we have to read it all again. Okay, can you... Anyway. Yeah, a cyber attack is really variant, no? I'm kidding. If you can advance the slide for me, someone in the technical office. Never mind. Sorry for... Thank you. So the question is how to generate an infrastructure where people can, with a central entity in the country, a bureau of some kind, that is able to generate power in such a way that it can help people facilitate this discussion, be a central source of intelligence, to share this intelligence with all the different agencies. And some of those agencies, again, civilian agencies or companies or different sectors, do not have the resources actually to invest enough in that. So maybe to summarize, I would say that today in 2014, still nations, I believe, are only in early stages if comparing to what happened in the old Wild West, in understanding that this is their responsibility to protect the civilians and the different organizations from cyber attacks. And today, reality is that many organizations pay a lot of money to that. If we are looking at the bank robberies, by the way, in the US, $900 million have been lost because of robberies. However, $12 billion have been lost because of cyber attacks. So for sure now, the country needs to do something, and it needs to follow, first of all, education standards, okay, and decide where it wants to protect both in the sector level and in the national level. Thank you very much.